All right, let's jump right in. We've got this wild episode circulating online, the one where Epstein's brother drops a bombshell, hinting that Trump might have been involved in Jeffrey Epstein's death.
Yeah,
And it's
that's a
really
loaded
stirring up
claim.
a lot of discussion.
Absolutely. What really stands out is how the whole narrative is framed. The video title, Epstein brother shocks when asked if Trump killed Jeffrey, sets the tone for expecting scandal, right?
Exactly. It's like someone is aiming to blow the roof off conventional narratives. The title alone draws you in, and then you see the discussion on breaking points, which, as we know, does not shy away from taking on establishment topics.
Yeah, and if you dig into the content, it's not just the headline. The discussion digs into the possibility that, powerful people might be involved in concealing truths. It almost feels like a modern day conspiracy thriller.
Right. Well, in a way, it does. The Epstein family has long been steeped in controversy, and this video leverages that legacy to question, open up the debate
Indeed.
around Trump's potential involvement.
It's interesting though. Some of the audience comments really amplify the narrative. I mean, you see comments ranging from "don't let this story die" to calling out supposed connections with Mossad and AIPAC.
Exactly, and those comments add this extra layer of, public outrage and demand for answers. There's this collective feeling that even if it's just an allegation, it's something that needs digging into
Yeah,
deeply.
that's true. I find it particularly intriguing how Breaking Points uses its platform here, mixing sensational claims with a kind of investigative drive. They're known for their anti-establishment vibe, and this fits right in.
Right. They aren't just reporting the claim, they're immersing themselves in the controversy, asking tough questions, like is it a deliberate diversion? Is it a genuine memory from Epstein's brother? Or is it something else entirely?
That's a good point. And then there's the reaction from different camps online. Some folks are almost vindicating the claim, while others dismiss it as yet another conspiracy theory.
Yeah, the reaction's a real mix. It's like, on one hand, you have hardcore skeptics of Trump who see this as, proof of a broader corruption
Absolutely.
network. And on the other, people who see it as baseless innuendo.
Which gets me thinking, to what extent do we let these claims stand without scrutiny? I mean, isn't there a responsibility, especially when such explosive allegations are thrown around?
Well, that's the crux of the debate, isn't it? There's a fine line between questioning powerful narratives and inadvertently promoting baseless claims.
Exactly.
It's really a balancing act.
So, what do you think is the underlying reason for such contentious statements, like Epstein's brother suggesting direct involvement by Trump?
I think it taps into a broader distrust in the system. It's like screaming at the top of your lungs because you feel that the truth is being manipulated.
Definitely,
the distrust
yes.
is palpable.
Right, and that distrust is fueled by other historical controversies too. The Epstein case itself has so many layers: connections, legal maneuvers, and deep political entanglements.
Agreed. And while there are legitimate concerns when it comes to accountability of the rich and powerful, we do have to be cautious before accepting every explosive claim as truth.
That's a fair critique. Exactly. I mean, if we start taking every such allegation at face value without demanding rigorous evidence, we risk muddying the waters of discourse.
Right, but here's an interesting twist. The content doesn't really provide hard evidence either. It's more of an anecdotal claim, a provocative question posed during an interview, really. And yet it's creating a
that's true.
cascade of discussion online.
And it's not just a handful of skeptical voices. Look at the comments. Some are practically calling for further investigation, pressing for details like a missing jigsaw puzzle piece.
Absolutely. The comments are vibrant. They range from urgent calls like "never let this story die" to humorous jabs suggesting that Trump could have been in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Right, I saw that too. I have to say, it reminds me a bit of how modern media thrives on a mix of sensationalism and genuine inquiry. It's not just about the story, it's about the underlying narrative of distrust in institutions.
Yeah, that's a solid observation. It's like an amalgamation of historical grievances meeting modern media frenzy.
Indeed.
And it makes you wonder what role such podcasts will play in shaping public opinion going forward.
Speaking of role, I wonder if the format of Breaking Points, with its clear anti-establishment tone, is a double-edged sword. I mean, does it actually encourage critical thinking or just fan the flames?
That's a valid concern. On one hand, they encourage viewers to question narratives presented by mainstream channels. But on the
Absolutely.
other, there's a risk of leaning too much into speculative territory without sufficient verification.
Exactly. And while the conversation about Epstein and Trump is fascinating in its own right, it could also be a trap for those who are predisposed to see conspiracies everywhere.
True, and it highlights the importance of having healthy skepticism. We need to, demand evidence and corroboration before fully endorsing any claim, no matter how sensational it might be.
Agreed. Yeah, and even within these open discussions, there's room for challenging ideas respectfully. Now, if someone might ask, but isn't it a bit too convenient to latch onto such a narrative?
And I'd say, sure, it's convenient, but it's also a manifestation of a broader societal polarization. It's like people are looking for a scapegoat, a simple explanation amidst a complex web of accountability failures.
Right, that does make sense. And, while the allegations themselves might be questionable, they do push the conversation towards demanding greater transparency and accountability. It's almost a double edged sword.
Absolutely. On one edge, you have the risk of misinformation. On the other, the potential to crack open questions that have been long avoided.
Definitely, that's a good point. So then, how do we navigate that? Is it about cultivating a more discerning audience? Or should platforms do more to verify such high stakes claims?
I believe it's a bit of both. Media platforms have a responsibility to provide context and request evidence, while audiences need to stay curious yet critical
Yeah, it's like a
in the
teamwork
realm
thing.
of truth seeking.
Right. And considering the public reaction, those thousands of likes and heated comment threads, it clearly strikes a nerve. It shows that these subjects aren't going away anytime soon.
Exactly, and it reflects an era where every major public figure is under intense scrutiny. Whether it's Jeffrey Epstein's murky history or Trump's controversial past, these stories feed into a larger narrative of power, corruption, and the struggle for truth.
Yeah, totally. I also want to mention that while Breaking Points is fueling this discussion, other outlets are picking up on it too. It's like a ripple effect, one statement, and it spreads out across social media, news, and podcasts alike.
For sure. And that ripple can sometimes start conversations that might bring new evidence to light or at least inspire deeper digging. But it also means that we have to be careful not to jump to conclusions too hastily.
Right, we need to take that slow and steady approach. Now, I have to challenge one small point here. While there is merit to demanding transparency, don't you think there's also a risk that too much sensationalism could actually undermine genuine investigative efforts?
That's a fair critique. Sensationalism, if left unchecked, might indeed muddy the waters of legitimate inquiry. It's a delicate balance. Too little questioning and you let power go unchallenged. Too much and you end up with a circus of unchecked rumors.
Exactly. So, navigating this landscape requires nuance, a willingness to engage with uncomfortable truths while at the same time demanding rigorous methodical verification.
Yes, and it's also about not letting the narrative get hijacked by the very sensational elements it seeks to expose. There's a maturity that needs to be maintained in these discussions.
Right on. To wrap it up, it seems the Epstein brothers' shocking claim is more of a catalyst than a conclusion. It catalyzes debates on accountability, media responsibility, and public skepticism toward power.
Absolutely. And while it might not settle any scores immediately, it definitely keeps the fires of inquiry burning. It's a reminder that in today's media ecosystem, few topics are ever truly closed cases.
Yeah, that's something to really think about. So here we are, balancing on that fine line between question and proof, always striving to dig deeper into the stories that shape our time.
Right, and as long as people keep asking questions and demanding accountability, we can hope that genuine answers will eventually surface amid all the noise.
Absolutely. Well, it's been a wild ride unpacking this. We've touched on everything from the provocative claims to the impact of sensational narratives on public trust.
Indeed, and this conversation itself probably reflects the complexity of the matter. It's like, an intricate web of claims, counterarguments, and the ever-pressing need for transparency.
Yeah, definitely. I guess our takeaway is to remain engaged, stay skeptical yet open-minded, and always look for that evidence before drawing our own conclusions.
Right. Keep questioning, keep digging, and keep the dialogue going. That's what the pursuit of truth is all about.
Absolutely. Thanks for the insightful discussion. It's content like this that reminds us just how complex and, well, charged media narratives can be.
Well said. Till next time, keep those minds open and stay curious.